The Ohio State Buckeyes are national champions, and in 2025, they are looking for the repeat. It's incredible that we are now in this era of college football where it used to be if Ohio State loses one game, their season's over. They lose to Michigan, season's over. Like, they can't get to the playoff, can't win a national championship, but now they can lose two games. They can lose to Michigan and another team in the Big Ten like Oregon, go 10-2, and still make the playoff. Go on one of the most historic runs in the history of the sport, culminating in a victory over Notre Dame, 34-23, to win the Natty. But the 2025 season is upon us. The Buckeye players have requested that some of the paraphernalia, the stuff around the building, is taken off because a lot of those guys were not a part of that run and producing on the field and want to do something special for themselves. I'll tell you what they haven't done is beat Michigan. That's something that anyone that had been Jack Sawyer, Lathan Ransom, JT Tuimoloau, you go through the list, Tyleik Williams, everyone, they had not beaten Michigan, but still won a national championship. It worked out for Travion Henderson and Emeka Egbuka when it's all said and done. But what about this Buckeye group? It's not okay, again, to lose to Michigan, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. What about week one? The Buckeyes host Texas. This could be the biggest matchup of the entire college football season, and we get a week one, August 30th, not a night game. Who needs a night game? Who needs a big game under the lights? That could be a 1-2 matchup. It's big noon kickoff. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt on the call. I have Texas winning 24-20. I want to preface this by saying I am an Ohio State Buckeye fan, a diehard one at that, and so I want to let you know this is me being impartial, saying that it's going to take time for settle in. That's why games like Grambling and Ohio after the Texas game will help, because that Texas defense will be likely, them and Penn State are the toughest two probably in the country, and they face both of them. But Texas, Colin Simmons, there's Anthony Hill Jr., Malik Muhammad, Michael Taft in the back end. That is a loaded defense, not, of course, mentioning what they can do offensively with Arch Manning being a dynamic runner of the football and maybe the best arm talent as far as intermediate accuracy in college football now, and he's only started a couple of games. The era for Arch is upon all of us. People are saying he's going to be the most watched college football player in 2025. He could be. But we know that Jeremiah Smith is the best player in college football, and he will have a touchdown week one, has to have a touchdown week one. Texas limited his production. We know who the new offensive coordinator is. It is our former and still the wide receiver coach, Brian Hartline, the best positional coach in probably the entire sport of football. Brian Hartline has been developing Buckeye wideouts to be phenomenal talents. First round ability. That's what he pitches to you when you go out to recruit. In 4 years in a row, it's happened. Carnell Tate would make 5. Jeremiah Smith in 2027 would make 6. But a Buckeyes lost 24-20. Season's not over. Guess what? You can lose a game and still make the playoff. They can lose another one later on in the year and make the playoff. We move on. Grambling, 54-6. We see big numbers all around. 17's catching the ball. 4's catching the ball. We see Donaldson with production out of the backfield. We get to see them lean on the defensive line. Like 92, Caden Curry. 97, Kenyatta Jackson getting production up front. First time in the video we're mentioning Caleb Downs, and we're about 4 minutes into the whole darn thing. This kid's probably the second best player in college football. And against these weaker opponents, you almost feel bad because he doesn't miss a tackle against the more talented runners, like against C.J. Baxter and Quintravion Wisner for that Texas running game. He's probably not missing a tackle. But against Grambling and Ohio, the next week, week 3, the Buckeyes winning 43-7, Caleb Downs is as locked down as it gets. Joel Klatt says he compares him to Troy Polamalu, a rolling ball of butcher knives, and I mean, I see it. I see a little bit of Ed Reed in there too as far as the ball skills go. And Ed Reed used to return punts. Caleb Downs used to be a running back. Like, he could be getting carries this year. Probably not. I don't want him to. But returning punts absolutely back there with Innis like it was last year. Innis, Egbuka, and Downs. We continue. The bye comes week 4, and then the Buckeyes are at Washington. This is that crazy day. You've got Ohio State at Washington, one of the premier places in college football. The Huskies are like 13-0 the last 2 years, maybe 14, a streak of that haven't lost at their home stadium. 38-14, the Buckeyes win. Also this day is the whiteout game. Penn State and Oregon throwing down in that night game, the whiteout, tremendous. And at the same time as that, there's Alabama and Georgia at Sanford Stadium for the Dogs' home arena. Incredible day of college football. I think there's like Ole Miss, LSU, maybe too, if I'm not mistaken there. Like, thank you to the football gods for putting the Buckeyes on earlier so we can just have pure entertainment in the early evening there with the whiteout and probably maybe a top 5 Oregon Penn State matchup and almost likely a for sure top 10 for both of those in Alabama, Georgia. Minnesota comes to the shoe in week number 6. Buckeyes 46-10. Just see the sheer talent that they have. Brandon Inniss, will he have a breakout game at some point? We're over the middle. It's just like, this is such an advantage. Mylan Graham, Bryson Rogers, they have so much talent. Max Clare, we're 6 minutes into the video, and I say Max Clare's name for the first time. There are so many weapons on this team. Sonny Styles in the middle of that whole thing. Davison Igbinosun at cornerback. Like, they are loaded. Obviously, they lost Cody Simon. They lost Denzel Burke. They lost Jordan Hancock. They lost Jack Sawyer, J.C. Tuimoloau, Ty Hamilton, Tyler Williams. All of these guys. Defense is still going to be good. Matt Patricia is going to be dialing up. He knows to send Styles at the right time. He knows when to bring Caleb in at the right time. All the confidence in the world in Matt Patricia. We continue. The 5-1 Buckeyes head on the road to Memorial Stadium at Illinois. Before you chuckle that I think Illinois is a college football playoff team, first of all, look at their schedule. And then look at the returning production that they have at quarterback. Buckeyes don't have any of that. Insane. Luke Altmaier is a veteran. He's tough. He's physical. He is a coordinated runner, a weapon with his legs, and an accurate throw of the football that didn't turn it over all that much last year compared to the year before that. 31-17 Buckeyes anyway, though. Jeremiah Smith at this point is very firmly in Heisman contention and is looking to almost seal his position in New York. Well, that's coming in just a bit against a certain team, but they're at Camp Randall, Wisconsin, a 36-10 win against the Badgers, moving the Buckeyes to 6-1 on the season, staring down a stretch of a bye before they play Penn State at home. Now, there are some Buckeye fans that say they're nervous about Penn State this year, and then there are others like myself that say, isn't Penn State our little brother? And when they punch, like, it almost hurts. It's like that feeling that almost is painful, but just enough for you to be like, it doesn't really bother you all that much. Well, Penn State might just have a little bit more bite than that appears to be next year. Obviously, Drew Aller returns, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen. Buckeyes fans, some of them don't even know Singleton or Allen because they haven't showed up against Ohio State. Drew Aller was the returning the leading rusher for the Nittany Lions against the Buckeyes at home a year ago. So they're like, Allen and Singleton, what does it matter? Without that unit and without a JT Tuimoloau that always gets a big game against Penn State, this is a tough one. Once again, Penn State hasn't scored an offensive, meaningful touchdown against the Buckeyes in at least 8 quarters. Last year they got a pick 6, were spotted 10 points, and only put up 3 in pretty much like the last 51 minutes of gameplay in that game. I'm not speaking negative about Penn State. I'm just telling it like it is with a bit of that like enthusiasm, a bit of like that family passion. Ohio State wins again because James Franklin hasn't won big games. I do have Penn State winning a big game against Oregon, but is it really? Is it really when it's the whiteout game and it's at home? And I personally have Oregon ranked at 8, and they don't have Evan Stewart next year. That actually leads me to say I am recording this video a couple of weeks before you're watching it, because when you're watching it, I will be in Africa. I'm going to see the Great Migration in Tanzania. Very excited to see it. Real Lions. They're playing the Nittany Lions, it just so happens, that week. So if I'm mentioning things about players or guys that we're expected to see that won't be out there because of something that comes up a couple of weeks after I record this and have scheduled it to post it, it's obvious why that is happening, and I apologize. It's just unavoidable because we got to get the predictions out before the Africa trip so we can post 50 videos of college and NFL predictions previews for all the big teams before it comes out. It's incredible. Penn State will also lose to the Buckeyes because they don't have Jeremiah Smith. I will continue. At Purdue, the Ohio State, at this point, 7-1 Ohio State team will be at Purdue. They don't have Dylan Thieneman, All-American caliber safety. They don't have Max Clary. He'll be with the Buckeyes in this game. 45-10 Bucks. UCLA at home. Welcome back to the shoe. Cracked helmet. Nico Iamaleava. 39-13. And Buckeyes take that one. I love the build of UCLA. I really like Nico Iamaleava. Still do. He's got all the talent in the world. It's a fit. Like, Los Angeles is a fit. USC maybe a little bit more so than UCLA. The chiller, nicer Westwood vibes out there for UCLA. But hopefully he has a very good season. He had a tough matchup against the Buckeyes on the road. The fact he wanted money to play in that game in the playoffs, you can say what you want. I won't say it here and now, but you can say what you want about that. Rutgers at home, 42-10. What I want to say about Rutgers is that when you go into the shoe this late in the year, there can be a little bit of added extra pressure. I know they're not Michigan, but if you can get points on the board early, as an Ohio State fan, we know how it feels when a team it's closer. Indiana last year, there's a lot of nervous energy in that crowd until Caleb Downs took that return back. So if you can stay in it somehow until the fourth quarter, you can have a chance. But I have the Bucks winning 42-10, and then it's TON. Playing TON week 14. Team up north at Michigan, week 14. Got them as the 22nd team in the country, expecting Bryce Underwood to start right away and to be pretty good. They return Rod Moore in the back end, Derek Moore up front, no Kenneth Grant, no Josiah Stewart, no Mason Graham, no Will Johnson, no Junior Colson, no Mikey Sanders still. Offensively, there's no Corum, there's no Donovan Edwards, there's no Khalil Mullins, there's no Colston Loveland. They don't have any of that. They're all gone. They're in the National Football League. Great players, a part of that national champion Michigan team, no longer factors. There's no excuse to losing to Michigan again. There just isn't. I'll take it. You ain't a Buckeye fan in Ohio State National Championship. All we got to do is lose to Michigan. Sign me up. Got a piece of paper right here. I'll do that right now. It's not usually the way it works. You can just take things that are offered to you as that type of situation. Last year, it certainly didn't feel like that. They were trying to plant an M in the middle of the shoe. But 27-13, the Bucks win this game, leaning on being aggressive. Next year, when the big games come, and they will, pretty much every game, approach it the same way. Be aggressive, attack on the outside where you have the advantage every time. First round talent, wide receivers. Julian Sands, quick release. He doesn't need to hold the ball for more than 3 seconds. Get the ball out and let Tate and JJ make plays on the outside. It could be picked once or twice, maybe even in a game. But overall, those matchups, those one-on-ones will be won. And we know why those Michigan losses are tough, because there's a nervous energy. You're trying to run the ball, trying to be something that maybe you fully haven't been, to have the same approach that you did in the college football playoff, and get your nose broken in a phone booth in a fist fight. 11-1 for Ohio State, a loss against Texas early in the year. Obviously, that could be a win, and the loss comes somewhere. Don't see them running the table, being 12-0. Do have them in the Big Ten championship game, playing Penn State in a rematch. That would be a lot of fun. Just to play Penn State, know you're in the CFP. The Buckeyes, it's just great to know that 2 losses, you can still get in. That's why I have Illinois as a dark horse CFP team, because if they only have 2 losses, they're in the college football playoff. 9-3 SEC versus 10-2. Big Ten is a conversation for another day. Believe that's a lot why the expansion is coming. Of course, money is involved with it as well. But fired up for Ohio State this year. Please let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. If you're a Buckeye fan, if you're a fan of another team, obviously hope you can appreciate the energy, being a little bit joking around here, just showing the enthusiasm. We're so excited for college football. Even if you're a Michigan fan, I have so much respect for Harbaugh, for Moore. When you win a national championship, whether or not there was something else behind the scenes going on. It is so tough to do, and that was a tough run to get there. But overall, with Blitz with Blender, what we're trying to do is spread love for football, for college football, for the NFL, for these players, appreciate how talented they are, how tough it is to do, and why it is the best sport on the face of the planet, and why we dedicate our life and lifestyle to it 24/7, baby. So thank you so much. Please subscribe to get more of this infectious enthusiasm. I hope it comes off, because it certainly feel like it does, but maybe we got to ramp it up a notch and get some energy drink sponsors going on here. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Go Bucks.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blunder.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.